Welcome to Module 2 of our Technology and Arts Technology units. Well, this module is all about coding and understanding what coding is, and I will watch some videos here on the screen and how it's a language that drives and is underneath computers and any digital devices. It's a bit like the coding are the letters that make the words, which make the sentences, which make the paragraphs, which make the story that is computing software and in terms of their programs. We're going to move on from having a look at coding, and as we are a unit which is learn by doing, or project-based learning, or which is sometimes called, that we're going to send you out and to start that coding journey. So understanding what coding is, and then we're going to throw you into some sites with Blockly first, and you'll start off using visual block coding, and underneath that are script coding. So you might be a novice in this in terms of things, so we're going to start you off on a simpler application, perhaps with Maze or the Pond Tutor. However, you might be have done this at school or elsewhere outside of school, so we might start you up in those as a refresh, but move on to more sophisticated coding. So enjoy the doing of this coding, and you need to invest a significant amount of time in this because it does relate to your assessment. So after we've explored coding, had a few little games at coding, we will get you to spend between 1 and 2 hours initially looking at coding. So here's an example of Blockly, a very simple one, and it's got 10 levels in the coding, and you advance through each level, and it's basically by moving here, you're using little things on here, so you block them in. So move forward, turn left. What happens with that? My man moves forward, and then gets there. So underneath that is the JavaScript code, which is the script code. Now you won't be learning that unless you're at the advanced level, and some of you might be, so we'll give you a challenge for that too. But we'll start off with just doing some simple coding. We'll end up with, after we've got some coding, into having a look in more detail, an area which is used by many schools, and that's Scratch. Scratch is, again, a visual Blockly coding tool, and it's got a myriad of information that you can do. So if we go into the Create screen, for example, you can create lots of different projects, whether they be games, dancing, musical program, and there's a whole range of them as you get into Scratch. So again, it is dropping in different things that you might want to do, and I mean, I've just randomly put there, so I don't know what that will do. Doubt whether it'll do anything, but you've got all the different things that you can control. Its motion, how things look, its movements, can it sense things, and can create wonderful little games. Most of you, I'd suggest, will actually use this application called Scratch to develop your assessment. Others might use different applications, and they're on the module to have a look at also. But where it fits into our assessment is in task number 1. So if we're just throwing up here task number 1, you have to construct a digital animated object. So I'll just turn that down a bit here. And using contemporary education coding tools, just like the two we had a look at, but there's more on this module. And you have to create an animated object, code and list the coding information that is in your object, and importantly, why you chose this method. So in other words, not just throw the coding up, but also what are the intentional design elements and sections of your coding that do particular features. And for the arts curriculum linkage for my M teachers is an additional element that you put into yours. And the last one is, which we're not going to discuss in this module but will be in next module, is that whole and large and significant area of safe and ethical use. How can we educate and have knowledge of what is some of the pitfalls of technology, but also some of the advantages, and how we can create great digital citizens in our classroom. So that's, in a nutshell, what we'll be looking at over this unit. But again, it starts with coding, and you're going to do lots and lots of coding, and it should be great fun as you explore different things. If you underinvest in the practice and the skill and the development of coding, you'll find task one a challenge and a rush. And I'd encourage you to start straight away at diving in, have some play the games. It's called gamification of this technology, and enjoy it. And then you can start to create. Learn from each other too. Get alongside and collaboratively work. For those who are good at this sort of skill, pass on that knowledge. You overcome a problem along the way in terms of some coding, then share it with your friends, because it's great collaborative learning that we're going to do. So welcome to Module 2, and welcome to the world of coding.